Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the All Star Panel, Married at First Sight. The last one for season 14 of Married at First Sight. We get to finally wrap this thing up, put a bow on it, tie it up nicely. Thank you guys for joining us. We have some great panelists today. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, starting with the lovely lady to my right.
That would be me. I'm Talisa Ray, you guys. You can find me anywhere. It's Talisa Ray. Yeah, that's who I am. That's it.
And we have this couple down here at the bottom, like we were watching Hollywood Squares.
This is August Love Story. I'm Tommy.
I'm Artika.
And yeah, that's us. August Love Story.
Yeah, let's get started with this one. We see Kevin Frazier, which I look out of all the seasons of Married at First Sight, I really enjoyed Kevin this time because they really asked a lot of the hard questions that we wanted to know. And you know, as he mentioned, he watched it himself, and there were some things, and he didn't let too many people get a pass. You know what I'm saying? Too many people didn't get a pass on this. But let's get started with I'm a nice person. Because I'm really a nice person. All right. Oh man, Alyssa in this whole two parts or this part of the reunion, she just didn't want to talk about anything. She never gave us any insight on anything. And anytime somebody came rough to her, she was like, my mental state. Talisa, your thoughts of Alyssa and her mental state?
Alyssa might be a nice person to her immediate circle. People might like her. She might be kind to her immediate circle. And when things go according to how she wants them to, I can see that being a possibility. But all of her actions aren't kind, right? She's not a kind person. So maybe she is a nice person, but she's not a kind person. She does not know how to see things as they are, so to speak. I think that she's doing herself a disservice by not being honest about, like, you know, I wanted someone that was aesthetically pleasing, and y'all didn't give me that. Because when I loved it when Dr. Viviana was like, so you keep saying that we didn't do you right, that we picked somebody wrong for you, and I have the application. Here are the receipts, ma'am. Like, that was probably one of my favorite things that she did. Here are the receipts, and these are the 5 things that you said. And so, are you telling us that this man is not loyal, does not have steady income, blah 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 blah? I didn't write no notes, so I don't remember. But I was just like, she was like, well, no, I don't. And then when Pastor Kyle was like, well, tell us your values. I don't want to talk about it. I was like, child, because you have no clue. You wanted someone aesthetically pleasing that probably did the hobbies that you the same hobbies, but your biggest thing was that he was not in the package that you wanted. And you probably should have been honest, because maybe we all would have been like, oh, I'm so proud of you. Like, oh, okay, that's good that you could be honest with us. I think she's a little delusional. She said, because when it happens, it happens. It's not going to happen until you do the work that's required for yourself. So, Alyssa, like, I don't know. When I saw the Where Are They Now and What's His Face came in, Brett, I was like, oh, they probably be perfect for each other because they both shallow as AF. So maybe they dating. Like, I don't know. I was just like, you people. And I meant you people when I said her, like, you people, like they, So anyway, that's all I got, because Alyssa is not a fan. I'm not a Alyssa fan. I think she didn't even apologize for being disrespectful or rude in the things that she was saying. Like, I don't like him, I hate him, like, all of those things warranted an apology. My behavior I did not react the way I should because of my mental health, my mental state. So I want to apologize for everybody I affected. She didn't have to be, it didn't have to point directly at Mark or at the experts, because she was a little disrespectful to them as well. But I feel like she should have just gave a general apology, and we might have been like, we still don't like you, but it's cool, right? So yeah. And yeah, all right. That's it.
August love story.
I think that if she had apologized, it definitely would need to be a non-coerced apology, like because Elijah one had to like make Lindsay apologize. But one of the things that Alyssa mentioned when Dr. Viviana came out and gave her, I think it was her top 5 things, was that loyalty was on the list. And she's like, he's not loyal. And I felt like I was a TikTok soundbite. Like, how would you know? How would you know? Like, literally every chance you got to crap on this guy, you took it. Like, it was jabs left and right about everything when you thought people weren't listening or when you thought things weren't going to make it to air. Because to him, she was just always mentioning their fundamental differences, which all I got for that is she mentioned that he said something about defund the police. How was he going to say that if his friend was a police officer? Have a conversation about that. Find out what he means by that. Because that's open dialogue, but you chose not to take that open dialogue approach. I don't honestly think that Alyssa could have done anything for me to be like, I respect you after this. I think that it would have just been, oh, great, now we never have to see her again. And for these girls to be her quote unquote friends, they were like, Alyssa needs a cowboy. What does that say about the type of person that you need? What is a cowboy? Like, is he loving? Is he patient? Is he kind? What is he besides a cowboy? And I'm from the South. I still live in the South. It's a cowboy shortage. You ain't gonna find one around here. I don't know what you're looking for, what you thinking about. You're definitely not gonna find them in Boston, but you're not gonna find them around here. So I don't really know what you're looking for. But it was just, it's very hard to watch somebody give you a BS answer and you're just supposed to take it because they're gonna cry. Like, I didn't want to hear anything she had to say after that. You got it.
Alyssa bothers me, man, just because of how she's allowed not to answer questions, like simple questions, like, well, "What do you mean by he's not loyal? Well, what do you mean?" Those simple questions right there. I don't know what she said verbatim because, like, to Lisa, I didn't take notes either. It felt good to just watch it. It felt really good to just watch it, but how you're just not allowed to or required to just answer questions, simple questions. What are your values? That's a simple question. And the answer is, if you don't know, just say, I don't know. I respect the person more by saying, hey, I don't know. Or being straight up and being like, hey, I looked at him, didn't like him. I can respect you. I can respect you a lot more just by being truthful on that front. Because telling him, oh, I don't think I'm not attracted to you. Telling him straight up, I'm not attracted to you like that. I don't think you're cute. Your teeth are messed up. But finding a right way to say it puts you in a different path on that, because the way she did it put Chris at a part where he doesn't even want to be beside her. You know what I'm saying? But if she just straight up was like, hey, I don't like you, I don't think you're attractive, but we're gonna enjoy ourselves at this, at this thing, they possibly could have turned it around. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know. He could have been just ugly to her, but everything else it hits. And like I tell people all the time, man, you're gonna be cute for so long, then it's gonna, stuff start dropping, and beauty fades after a while. Like, I mean, Angela Bassett still look good, but anyway, I just didn't like that, and it was kind of like a disappearing act for Chris, because like we kind of forget that Chris was actually a participant and a willing participant, and it sucks for him because of that. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't like Alyssa, and I don't think there's nothing she could say. I don't think she could apologize. I don't think she could like be remorseful. Like she can say I'm a good person, and I still wouldn't believe her because I don't believe good people do stuff like that. Good people are not attracted to a person, but don't act that way. Good people don't say I hate people for no unknown reason. You know, at the benefit of the doubt, she could have gave him a chance to get to know him instead of just judging him based off of what she heard. So I don't know. That's it. That's all I got for her.
Let me just say, oh, his name is Chris. I said Mark. They all the same. It's all muddled together.
We knew
y'all knew who I was talking about. Okay, good.
Yeah, we knew who you were talking about. I want to go to this point that Artika made. I said the same thing when they were like, you know, what's a good guy for Alyssa? And they were like, a cowboy. I'm like, that don't say nothing about character, personality, just a cowboy. Like, these your friends, and that's the best they could come up with? A cowboy? You know, I loved Dr. Viviana's receipts. I was like, yes. She was like, well, your questionnaire said you wanted compassionate, hardworking, loyal, funny, and giving. And the only thing she could say was, well, he wasn't loyal. Excuse me, ma'am. How is he not loyal? He was loyal to you. He had every right to run that lady down.
For 10 days, he was loyal.
Every right to run that lady down. Every right to sit there when the producer stopped them and holler across the restaurant, you blah, 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 you blank, blank, blank. He never said nothing. Even when she flat out lied about the time they were having, he said nothing. Even on the stage, he didn't run her down. He's not loyal. These hoes ain't loyal. Okay? Chris is loyal. Chris is loyal. And I love that Pastor Cal was like, you said y'all don't have the same core values. Well, what are they? I'm like, Tommy, I wrote down, and then the waterworks started. I was told I wouldn't feel attacked. And right now I feel attacked. Dr. Viviana was like, we're just asking you questions. Yeah. Oh, we're asking you questions. Just explain yourself. Lucy, you got some explaining to do. Yeah. Dr. Pepper was like, I don't understand. How are you so mismatched? I would just say, look, I didn't, like Jasmina did the same thing to Michael, basically. Was like, I don't have no feelings. Basically what Jasmina's saying, I'm not attracted to you like that, Michael. That's all Alyssa had to say was, he's just not cute. I like what Dr. Pepper told her. She said, if we had known you had this much room for us to wiggle in your list, I wouldn't have picked you. Because this not for you. She should have known that. This not for you. And the thing is, if your list is that specific and this is what you need, then you found that person, you're not gonna find them.
Yo,
you're gonna have trouble.
She played Karen real quick. She jumped in Karen mode quickly. When she ain't like something, she became victim real quick, right? As everybody against me is victim mode. No one likes a victim, right? No one likes a victim mode, but yet she's the one that said all the stuff. All right, you the one putting this man down. Now you're the victim. Again, you knew what you signed up for, right? You knew you signed up for the show. You should have known. Man, I told her I would have been like, Chris, I'd have came to one of them episodes with a cowboy hat on, some cowboy boots, some Wrangler jeans, and said, "Do you like me now?" and see who would have been good now, right? You know, it's just those things. She was disgusting, because she never really shared and she really never gave us as a viewer anything, except for the fact that she had excuses. Matter of fact, she cried over the experts coming at her, she ain't shared one tear when Lindsay came at her, right? So when Lindsay came at you ain't shed no tear because you had the people supporting you.
But she did this. Did y'all catch this? When she got in an uncomfortable space, did y'all see her go? I was like, why is she shaking? She would twitch. I was like, what's wrong with her?
That's what happened.
Look away. I didn't say anything about you, Lindsay.
That's her twitch when she.
What in the world? I said, what's wrong with her?
That's what happens when you rescue all them dogs. She see the dogs twitching and she wouldn't be like that. But not she has a Alyssa has a I can see why her and Jasmina are real close friends. And why they hang out. They are the same. They like they
Jasmina's just not as she ain't mean about it.
She is not mean about it. And Alyssa's just I can get out of it because her family knew that that's the way she was. And then the way she is and the way that she's gonna be. I don't care what man she got. Ryan ain't gonna be with her. And again, she didn't like I think it's two things with Chris that she didn't like. One was his look. Two was the fact that he liked black people. And he'll get along with black people and he got a black cause. I really do. When he started having that discussion and he started going all the political stuff and all that and defunding police and all that, she was like, not the dude for me. And so again, she made excuses why they're not together. But again, it wasn't her fault because she's a nice person. It was all on Chris.
That was funny too. When Kevin talked to the guys and asked Chris, do you think that Alyssa's a good person? He was like, that's a loaded question. Because it is. I can't remember who just said that. Like, she might have been a good person, nice person, but we didn't get a chance to see that at all. But she was terrible. And it says a lot when you're in a stressful situation, how you respond. That says a lot about you. It's not that kind of response is not out of the ordinary. You can't say that it was this situation. No, because everybody doesn't act like that under pressure and under stress.
I got a question for you guys and you guys in the chat as well. If Alyssa had been matched with Steve because of the whole tattoo situation, would she act the same way? I want to hear you guys' thoughts.
Absolutely not.
Nah. Steve is more of a looker. Like, you know, he looks better than Chris aesthetically. Now he would have I don't know how she would have acted to the he don't have a job situation, but she'd have been fine with how Steve looks, you know, versus Chris. Because she described another guy, basically. It's anybody but Chris from the show, I think.
But she would have also had to tell Steve more than she's a good person. Like, we would have had to have some other than that, because that's all we got from her the entire season was, I rescue dogs, I'm a good person. Like,
we would have seen Steve cuss on TV. if they was matched, Steve would have, like, we would have seen that. But nah, I don't think it would have been an issue. Like, they would have made it through the whole show.
Not past decision day.
It'd have been a no on decision day.
I think it would have looked differently. I also feel like though, because Chris isn't really bad looking, right? I don't think that he's a bad looking man. I think that he was just not fit. Had he been a little more fit, she would have felt differently about him. And I don't know, like, Steve don't look like he would have liked her. Like, Steve would have instantly been like, she's too superficial and shallow, even though so is his wife a little bit. But I think that, what's her face? Alyssa takes the cake. So, it would have been a whole lot of like talking. Steve would have got tired of talking to her about her values. What is it that you want? What do you need? So I'm with y'all that she would have been probably more attracted to him and gave it a little more time, but she would have eventually started with her, I'm a good person, he's not listening, he's not, I feel like that would have eventually had happened.
I agree. I feel like she would have found something. Because she just seemed like that type of person. It would have started off good, but the first time Steve got on her, because she looked like the type that probably doesn't do many chores either. So when her and Steve had that conversation, the waterworks would have started. Yeah, something would have happened.
Yeah, I think so. I think something would have happened unless they really believe in this, the median and psychic. Well, this is my guy, so because he has this tattoo, so he has to be my guy, and I'm going to stay with him regardless of what happens. There's some people like that. That whatever the median, psychic, pastor, preacher, whoever says, this is their person. And regardless of this, that's who they're going to be with. And she seemed like one that she really wants to be with them. So We said, let's get on this because we might be on this one for a while. How many of y'all were y'all irritated when Jasmina and Michael met with the experts? I was so irritated by Jasmina. I was like, yo, you are just a piece of work. Like, and you saw, if you could see Michael's face, Michael was sitting there like, this wench right here won't even let me talk. Like, she won't even let me say a word. She won't even let me say a word. Bro, I can see it from a man. He was sitting there like, boy, she want to see aggressive? I can show her aggressive.
Nah.
but anyway, you guys thoughts on Jasmine and Michael when they were sitting there with the experts?
Are we first?
Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
Oh, okay. When I was wanting them to stop trying to hook them back up, because it was like a done deal. They was over each other. I really wish they would have worked out, but they were done. I think they brought up the laptop thing. I think Mike, I don't know, because the laptop thing would have been a quick fix for me. Even if I forget, like, oh, you need the laptop, let me go get it. Or usually I bring my laptop with me just about everywhere I go. So it's like, all right, here you go. I got my phone or something like that, but that's just me. But it was more than that, you know what I'm saying, as far as like why they actually broke up. It's just like something just bubbling within those 12 days. I didn't see how that was going to work anyway for them to be apart from each other when they struggled when they were together. The biggest struggle that they had was communication with each other. Now y'all going to have to communicate way better being apart. Like, I've been like, we have to see each other every day or something like that. So, but no, I was just irritated mostly by the experts trying to say, hey, y'all like each other still. You should maybe try to do it again. But Jasmina, she shut that down quick, man. So
nothing beats a failure but a try, and I feel like there wasn't a try. Once they got done with decision day, they were like, oh, bonus, whatever incentive there was for us to say yes, we got through that hurdle because they were on an upward trend as far as communication was concerned. But one of the things that I thought was going to be an issue when we watched Decision Day was, okay, they're each going back to their respective places. I get it. He lives with roommates. She has a roommate. It's kind of hard to just jump right into having a place together and not giving these roommates any type of notice that we're not going to be living here anymore. So that means my income is also not coming here. But it didn't seem like they even planned any type of anything. And I remember Jasmina saying, I can't help that things come up. And I was like, I live with my husband. And can't much come up that he can't call me every day. Like, I remember when we were dating and he went on a 5-day trip with his grandfather. They did a casino tour. And every night before he got into bed or before he went back down to play whatever game he was playing that night, he would always call me on video chat. And I'm like, y'all are talking about, I text him in the morning. I'm like, you have lived with this person for 60 days. I need something more than a text message in the morning that says good morning. Like, call me, text me throughout the day. I need a FaceTime at lunch if we can both take lunch at the same time. I need something. And then to say that, well, I reached out and you only came over to my house one time. 12 days one time does not make a marriage. Like, that just, it didn't sit well with me. And it's like nobody tried, because she's like, oh, you came to my house one time. What did you do? Like, you text him every morning? Great. What was the incentive to see him? What was the incentive to spend time with him? Like, y'all could go out for dinner, even if it was going to Burger King. Like, go do something together so that you guys feel connected. It just felt like they weren't trying to connect. They were just trying to get to whatever prize was on the other side of Decision Day.
Couldn't have said that better myself.
Well, thank you, sir.
I was gonna say the same thing. I was just about to say, I think that Artika hit all the points. The whole reciprocity thing and the effort between two people is important to make anything work. But honestly, we all know, including everybody on this chat, that Jasmina didn't like Michael. She didn't like Michael. She might have been willing to try on the honeymoon, but after the whole aggressive situation, that was dead in the water. She did not like him. She did not like the way he looked. Probably not like the way he smelled. Probably did not like the way he spoke. Well, we know he didn't like the way she didn't like the way he spoke, not the way he dressed, except for when he was in them suits. I thought he looked really nice in them suits, and he probably should have upscaled himself more often than not. But she did not like him at all. And for them to say yes on decision day was a mistake for both of them. And they should have just been like, no. And that whole segment with the experts, seeing if they could get back together and talking about, we all have issues with our spouses. We like them. We actually chose them for ourselves. So guess what? Yeah, you get on my nerves today, but tomorrow I'm going to be okay. And I just feel like it was wasted space. She should have just said, well, she did, I guess, say, I don't like him in a certain extent, but she should have said, I was out from aggressive and I tried because I wanted to make it to the end or whatever. But I don't have nothing else. I think Artika hit it. I think Tommy hit it. I think we good. I'm sure Jackie, you and Glenn gonna hit it. And so whatever y'all say, y'all know that I'm with. The end.
I think something that was key that she said when it was talking, I think she said, I wasn't romantically involved with him anyway. I didn't romantically like him in the first place when it was talking about the argument. Pastor Cal said, all married couples have arguments. She's like, I wasn't romantically involved.
What she said was just like Artika and Talisa were saying. So when we've picked somebody ourselves, there's feelings, there's attachment there. And what Jasmina said is, so yeah, when there's attachment to that person, when there's feelings, then you have a disagreement, but you have motivation to get past it. So her thing was, I didn't have any feelings there. So I was like, I'm mad. I'm going to stay mad. I ain't got no reason to make up with him. She was like,
she wasn't
forget it.
But even the point is, she wasn't giving anything anyway, right?
Mm-mm.
She wasn't giving him anything. I mean, no love, no affection, a text, which lets you know that that's what she used to, her long distance relationship. She went back to a long distance relationship and she was comfortable. I did my part because I texted you. I did my part because I called you. Did you tell my man? Did you drop something off to my man's job, right? Or vice versa? Did he drop something off of her job? Did you bring her some lunch? Did y'all try to schedule lunch? Because if I'm not mistaken, he's a personal trainer, right? He runs his own business. He got his own time. He sets his own schedule. He could have been like, because I'm not gonna put all this on Jasmina, because he could have been like, you know what? Let me step outside of the box and go see my wife, not my girlfriend. Let me go see my wife. Let me go spend some time or bring my wife some lunch, have a conversation with my wife, stop by my wife's job, send my wife some flowers, do something. This is my wife. And what happened was they went back to their apartments and felt like these 8 weeks didn't even happen.
But he said it on the previous reunion show. He said, when this person keeps telling you I don't have any feelings and they make it like I ain't gonna get no feelings. So he like, why am I trying? Which again, you should have just said no at decision day.
But when you say yes at decision day, like you said,
that means you're gonna try something.
You're gonna try something, bruh couldn't step outside of his box. And someone said in the chat, I think about it. Think about all the activities they did. It was the experts who set it up. Mm-hmm. What did Michael actually set up? He set up with just the anniversary by himself, but I think he had help with that, right? But the tantric yoga producers and all those set those things up. He didn't set that up. The fruit basket he did probably at the house by himself when he fed her fruit on their month anniversary. Bruh needed some help, and he wasn't getting some help. For them to be hanging out with Elijah Wan and Katina every day, and maybe Elijah Wan giving some pointers, somebody missed something, right? Somebody missed something somewhere. Mike should know, look, I need to do something to get this girl over here. And she should know, they're the same. Jasmina should know, I just can't text my dude. I have to go see him. I have to be together. Tommy, you said it best. if y'all was struggling when y'all lived with each other, what do you think was gonna happen when y'all wasn't gonna see each other every day? And look, can we be honest? We all grown here. Y'all grown in the chat. See each other there, and he ain't get the draws yet. There was nothing to bring him back. There was nothing to bring him back. He didn't get no kisses. He didn't get no hugs. He didn't get nothing. What was it to bring him back to you?
He won't give her nothing either, because like
vice versa.
Said,
she wouldn't get in the slong, the dong, the
not even
pee,
that,
or whatever you want to call it. She wouldn't get none of that. So what was going to bring her to go see him?
But not only that, like Talisa said, okay, step up your game, wear the suits. I'm on the flip side, Talisa. How about take them shirts off? Flex them pecs, let them biceps. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you have to be blind as a bat. Like after a while, them pecs is gonna mesmerize you.
But
the beard hair. Come on, look. She needed some romance novel or something.
No,
she could read something before she went to bed. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. And then look, because when they showed that video, when they said they was at the retreat and they said we had a little dance party, I said, "Oh, look at Michael! I forgot he had all that." So, I mean, I was joking at first, well, not even joking. I said Michael was ham-sugly. Sometimes he look handsome, sometimes like, but and Jasmina she stuck herself because he wasn't a bad-looking guy. I'm curious to know what it is and what she's looking for.
Somebody could
as
talk.
Far as looks. And what were you looking for?
She was looking for somebody to take the lead. Michael
never took absolutely didn't take the lead.
She wanted somebody who took the lead. He never took the lead. Well, if Michael wanted to make her job, Michael should have dressed up in a suit like Talisa said, put some smell good on whatever, walked up in her job and see how many other women would be like, that's your man. And she might have liked him a little bit more then because other women his kid.
All the toddlers would have jumped on him.
But you walk up in the elementary school looking good, and all the women in the elementary school teachers, she might have felt jealous, right? She might have felt jealous, but nah, she didn't want him after that first conversation. After the wedding day, and almost to the point when he found out that he doesn't like Marvel movies or watch TV, she was like, "Oh, I'm deuces." She was out. And then when as he raised his voice, I can say aggressive, as he put a little bit bass in his voice, she was really done. And for her to talk to Alyssa all the time,
you already know.
You already knew what kind of conversation they were having.
That's a death wish right there for a relationship.
And yeah, like you said, he was short. She wanted a tall man. You can't control that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tommy.
Mike ain't got no game, man. I gotta keep telling you.
Where's the swag? He don't have no swag.
Ain't got none. Cause I'm telling you, it's
no
me.
swag.
We said that last week. We said that he ain't had no game.
No game.
Yeah, I'd have been doing tantric everything. We'd have hit tantric yoga again. We've been tantric cooking. We've been tantric dancing. What else can you do with tantric? Because we would have done it all in 12 days.
Look, tantric with clothes on, tantric with clothes off.
Exactly. Let's take this tantric shower real quick.
Tommy, but I said the same thing.
Woody Amani did that, remember? Woody Amani did that, took a shower with their clothes on, with their swimming trunks and stuff on, just so they can get closer with each other.
Yeah. Man.
Yes, that is exactly how we got to baby number 2.
But I said that too, Tommy. After their tantric yoga session, they should have been at they should have went home and really cuddled up. He should have just I don't know how they did that, and that was just it. If Michael had game for real, once they got home, he'd have been like, man, I bought these oils, and I just want to give you a massage. Let me run your bath water. Look, I got these. They give us free rose petals, right? So I will put these rose petals on. Something should have popped off after that. Something.
He should have lied and said, Dr. V told us we should do this as an exercise. I don't know.
Right. I'd have been doing everything possible, man. Because it's like, what, especially when we already said yes after decision day, I'd have been taking you on dates. We'd have been cooking at home. We'd have been within those 60 days, You like I'd have been walking around naked and everything, man. Like you would have got to know me.
That might have been too much.
You like you got a little bone right there.
I don't know, Tommy. You walking around naked, she probably would have been like she felt assaulted. There was no consent. I don't know.
Hey,
you might have lost.
Like I'd have just, I'd have took it there just because it's like I want you to know me and I want to know you, and the best way to do it is find us in our most vulnerable states and be able to have a conversation with you. Like we know that their communication was off, and the funny thing about communicate, to get better at communicating is just to communicate with each other. That's the craziest thing, but it works. The more you talk to somebody, the better your communication gets with a person when you have a communication problem. So do that. Like they did the best when they did the tantric thing. So I like that would have been my go-to. I'd have called the experts. Yo, I need some ideas for dates. I need topics. You can reach out to people and talk about those things. The experiences with people is what gives you the things to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's where Mike failed, I think. And I think as a group of human beings, we always, the game is for us to chase and for the woman to be chased. And I just don't think it worked well for them that way, you know.
Yeah, I don't think they had two activities that actually made them semi-communicate and be closer to each other. And that was you get blindfolded and I ask you a question, and then the tantric yoga, which I don't think tantric yoga was going to work for her anyways, because she had just, I think after the honeymoon, she had decided I'm not fooling with him, and that's that. But I do think that the questions at least allowed them to have conversations. I think that the conversations just needed to progress beyond, why you not talking to me?
What's your favorite color?
Like, because that's literally all they had at that moment. It was, why aren't you talking to me? Do you not trust me? And things of that nature.
I do think him having that many sisters kind of hurt him a little bit too when it comes to talking to females. That
it should help more, because
you would think, but
it help more being around all the women. Even if your sister never told you what to do or gave you advice, watching them and their relationships and how they navigate and what they want and need. You have 5 different women who have different personalities. You should have been able to pick something up. I don't feel nothing for Michael. I don't feel nothing for Michael because he didn't try. He didn't put no effort in. He shut down. He was scared of her and what she might do or say. And so for that, you low-key a punk. Like, I'm going to say it. Okay, you low-key a punk, and that's just what it is. No woman that you are married to or trying to get to know should intimidate you to the fact where you're just not going to say nothing. You're not going to try nothing. You're not going to do nothing. You're not going to nothing. Like, they got conversation cards for this. Like, you go buy the cards. Y'all been together. Yeah. I do conversation cards with the people that I'm, whatever.
Your friend.
If things get stale because they don't know how to hold a conversation, I might be like, or if I feel like I'm the one pulling all the stops, we know I'm gonna stop talking to you. But I pull out my conversation cards and try and get you to loosen up or whatever the thing is. Like, there is ways. He is a PUNK when it came to Jasmina, okay, because she was not the nicest person. Y'all said it, and I didn't realize it really a lot until this episode that she's Alyssa, just the one that doesn't want to seem like she's not a nice person. Like, she wants to appear to be kind, but she might not be a nice person.
But she does a better job at hiding it than Alyssa does.
Yeah, agreed. But I'm glad to see the men would be like they would try. So kudos. I'm glad. Man, you gotta do some stuff to help us sometime come back to the other side.
You have to try. And like I said, you have to try Mike soft. Mike was soft, man. And Mike was, look, I mean, I agree with Tommy. Most guys in the chat would have been like, I would have tried something, right? I would have rubbed on her, I would have rubbed her back, and you wouldn't have just took the first no for an answer. You might have took a couple no's, right? All right, today, all right, it's Tuesday. She said no, but let me try on Thursday and see if she said yes. It's Thursday. She said no. Let's try over the weekend. You know what I'm saying? It's something that he could have. I know some people said nothing that he could have done. He could have tried something. I think that she opened up. And how about, is there a rule that you can't double date? Because I've never seen a double date. So she should have went out with Michael, should have went out with Katina and Elijah on, and maybe he'll open up a little bit more. To have that double date with them out there, like, hey, bro, let's go on a double date. Can you help me out a little bit? Oh, can you give me some pointers, some tips, something of that nature? Or like, matter of fact, with his sisters, like, hey, my girl ain't opening up. My wife ain't. What will open you up, right? What will make you feel more comfortable? This is a situation. Can you give me some tips or something that's going on? Oh, he got some boys. He got no boys to call up. Be like, hey, bro, this is going on. Can y'all help me out? And again, she may not have been interested. She might didn't care, but I wouldn't have gone down without a fight. All my shots would have hit the backboard.
Right, like the crazy part about it, man, he has access to a sex therapist, a pastor. I don't know what Dr. Pepper is. I
think she's a sociologist.
And a sociologist. Out of them three, I could come up with something. Like, tell me something, because I'm missing it. And I don't know, man. I'm gonna leave Mike alone. And I think I don't know what a woman has to do on her end. I just know what I'm supposed to do, or what worked for me in my years before marriage and then through marriage. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I know that part. I don't know what a woman is supposed to do in that situation. That's why I can't say where Jasmina was wrong or where she was right at. You know what I'm saying? I just know what Mike did, not talking to her, not, touching her, not making her feel comfortable, not telling her she pretty. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are simple things that I would think, you're like, man, let me tell her she look good real quick so I can see what I can get. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a give and a take type of thing, Like, what happens if I do this? What happens if I do that? Oh, that didn't work? Okay, I'm not going to say that, and move forward. But I don't know, man. I just feel bad. I really wanted them to work out, but they didn't. So, hey, it is what it is.
I did too. I think in the grand scheme of things, like we talk about what Michael could have done. Michael was defeated. He was defeated. He was really like, she don't like me. I would have rather them just go through it the rest of the time being like, just forget it. But she kept trying to throw out these little glimmers, like maybe it's not there yet. I don't have feelings yet. And so he felt like, I would have rather her just say, it ain't no feelings, and I ain't gonna get none. Let me just be real with you, dude. It ain't changing over here. I'm sorry. But Michael was defeated. And I see the people in the chat too, and I feel that way too. We're putting a lot of onus on Michael, but Jasmina, she ain't tried. But I mean, I wouldn't expect her to try because she wasn't feeling them.
I'm gonna tell you this.
She wasn't feeling them.
I'm gonna tell you all this. Y'all can laugh. If that was Chris Williams from Atlanta, Chris would have got it. Chris would.
Oh, absolutely.
Chris would have messed with Jasmina. Would have fell for Chris.
I think she would have. He's taller too. I wish she would have been honest about that. Because Michael was shorter than her.
Height thing, man. This height thing doesn't have anything to do with. I'm 5'6", and I think I could pull anybody I wanted to before I was married. So,
yeah. Oh, yeah. I was not on the man's part, but like for her, I just believe that played a part in it. I just do. And not there's nothing wrong with my son. Husband.
I'm 5'7".
I was gonna say my husband 5'7". Hey,
man,
he told me.
I agree with you, Tommy. I think I could pull anything before I was married. So
that I
I'm gonna do that before I was married because I ain't trying to pull nothing now.
And don't y'all and yeah, he ain't trying to pull nothing. Don't try to throw it this way because I got hands. I'll put the paws on.
You got hands.
I love it, Jackie. Y'all better talk y'all stuff. Y'all better talk y'all.
Oh man, but nah. Poor Michael though. Poor Jasmina, because if the psychic is true or the medium is true, she can be in a rough time until 5 years. Isn't that what it said?
Yeah.
She got to wait 5 years before she can get somebody else. So, hey, if you believe in mediums or not, it's what it is. So, So that's what we got there. Oh man, let's go to this crazy couple here. Because Lindsay and Mark. Spitting Lindsay. Lindsay likes to spit on people. That's nasty. And Mark was hurt. I don't know about y'all. Mark seemed like every time Mark talked, except for when he was with the guys, he had tears in his eyes. When he was sitting next to Lindsay, Mark looked like he was ready to cry, except for when he was with the group of guys. That lady had broke. We talked about Katina was being broken by Elijah one. Lindsay broke Mark.
Yeah.
Lindsay really broke Mark. Talisa, your thoughts?
First off, you can't spit on me. That's first. You're going to catch my hands. Spitting is the most disrespectful thing you can do to somebody. You can say all the words you can do. You spit on me, you're telling me I'm beneath you. And I'm all the work that I've done is going to go out the window. You're going to catch these hands. You will not be spitting on me. I don't even want your apology. You're going to be wanting me to apologize because I'm going to have to do the dang on reunion from the prison. From the jail cell, they're gonna have to, because you're not gonna. I don't like that. That's nasty. It's just the nastiest thing on earth that I can think of. And I didn't realize how scared Mark was of her. Like, I was like, wow, she really did a number on him. When he said, the bully stuff, I was like, oh, okay, a lot of us, I was bullied, but, I got out of that real quick when I realized that I got hands too, Jackie. Like, once I realized that, I was like, oh, y'all can't nothing you can say or do no more. But this episode, I was like, oh, he was really scared of her. But he wasn't too scared to put her out. So I don't know. And then to hear that he said, what did they stay? She stayed 2 or 3 months after? Is that what it was? So that she made me think that he said, get your shit and go in a week. He gave her some time to get herself together, that they were still in the same dwelling. So I don't know. Lindsay needs to have more self-awareness. And for somebody to make you apologize, or, I'm your friend and I'm telling you that you're going to regret that. Like, to me, she don't want to apologize. She ain't got to apologize. Is it beneficial? Yes, but I don't want a false apology. I don't want somebody telling me that I need to apologize to you, and that's not what I feel. And you can tell that Lindsay has no remorse for any of the actions that she has done the entire season. No matter watching it, nobody telling her, she's like, this is who I am, and it is what it is. But I did like how Dr. Pepper told her, you are a smart woman, and when someone hurts you, you go for the jugular. Like, I know what that looks like, right? I'm going to go, you hurt me just a little bit, and I'm going to stab you. Like, that's exactly it. And so I liked that Dr. Pepper told her that and said that that's something that she feels like she needs to work on. Because she does. And then I'm thinking about Alyssa and Lindsay, and they little beef that they had. What, y'all had a beef? So 2 mean girls, and then Alyssa, you couldn't handle the mean girl Lindsay. What's the lady name? These people is crazy though. These people is crazy. I'm trying to remember, because like I said, I ain't taking no notes. I was like, this is the end, so y'all don't get no notes. And I kind of feel like Lindsay gave us what we expected. She was true to herself from beginning to end. That's it. Like, this is who I am. I'm unapologetic. I'm mean. But I want to support you as long as you do what I want you to do. So I don't really have much. And whatever y'all say, like I say all the time, it works for me. That works. It's good. It sounds great.
Lindsay, Mark. I don't want to say Mark was faking, but I just feel like Mark, when he started talking about being bullied, and he'd been bullied all his life, I would think at whatever age Mark is, at 38, he would have learned how to deal with bullies. I don't know how it is for people today and bullies, but I know as a 35-year-old man, I'm talking about myself, I'm going to say what I need to say, and then I'm going to move on. Period. Like, if I don't like what you're saying, I'm going to properly talk to you because I'm not a person that's want to be confrontational. I don't want to fight anybody. But hey, if I feel disrespected, I'm gonna deal with it in a manner that, hey, yo, I felt disrespected right there. Please don't say that no more. And then if you keep doing it, I'm gonna just remove myself from the situation before it gets worse. Because that's the way I work in. And I feel like an adult of 30 plus should have enough to be like, okay, I'm not gonna take that. Especially seeing it, knowing that you don't like it. Now I may be looking at this through rose-colored glasses. I don't know, but I just, I'm just like, Mark, you could have said more. Like, this woman is not like, what's the worst she can do to you? She spit on you, bro. You supposed to go completely off. That's disgusting. Like, nobody spits on people. And like, she spit on you, I would have got the worst hoagie, like what they call, out of all the way. It came from back here. When you spit on me, I'm gonna spit right back. I'm gonna spit in your face.
That's disgusting.
It's nasty, but she did it to him.
It's still disgusting. Either way it goes.
Because the thing is, it's like, what men struggle with is, if a woman hits you, how do you respond? Because naturally I'm a most of the time bigger, stronger, but she feels like she can hit me. How do I respond to that situation? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I'm not gonna hit her. What do I do? Do I just allow this to happen and this abuse, because it is abuse on his end? And she spit on him. It's like, how do you respond to that? I'm gonna spit back on you because I'm not hitting you. I'm gonna spit back on you. I mean, like, I'm gonna make sure it lands. And if I miss, I'm gonna spit again.
That's disgusting.
I mean, like, it's
still disgusting.
For somebody to spit on you, though. It's nasty. So and that's the thing that I struggle with Mark in this whole thing. It was like how beat up he was by her. But I'm like, he allowed it. I don't care how much you get bullied, like, you allowed it. Like, what do you do? Why go through I keep forgetting this, 8 weeks of this type of abuse, say yes, and then continue on? You know what I'm saying? So it's like nothing changed from decision day to the point y'all decided to get a divorce. What's going on here? So it was more so, I was just looking at it like, I want to feel bad for him, I want to feel sorry for him, but it's hard for me to do, just because I would have handled that whole situation differently. What was it? Lindsay trying to apologize. I'd have told her, keep that. That means absolutely nothing to me. Like, you, first off, Elijah, I would have said, Elijah, don't worry about it. She don't have to apologize to me. She live in California. That's Talisa's problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep that. Hold it for somebody it's for. So I don't know, man. I was just kind of like bothered by that whole situation.
I think that Lindsay and Mark both lack self-awareness about their roles and everything. Lindsay more so than Mark with the way that she treats people, because Lindsay spent way too much time like, let me figure out what I can say to put him down. Let me figure out what I can say to, like, get under his skin. And Mark was just basically taking it. There is no way, wife or not, you come into the house that I have and you act a fool, that I'm just going to be like, yeah, you can live here until you figure it out. Somebody's getting removed from the house. It might be me, but somebody's getting removed from the house. Like, Jackie and Talisa said they got hands. I don't have hands. I got words. And my words are going to make sure that I call the police and get you taken out of my house because you don't live here. You ain't had enough time to go get your driver's license changed to this address. You're trespassing. Get out. That's pretty much the end of it. Look, I'm trying to divorce this woman. She won't leave. Somebody come help me. Because if we don't, one of us is going to end up hurt. And it's going to be her. I think that we always are taught as kids to think very highly of ourselves. And Lindsay thinks way too highly of herself with that letter that she wrote about the Lindsay magic, because what did she really fix in his life?
No.
Like, she gave him new problems. Yeah, okay, you helped me put my cat down. Okay, I get that. That's something that could be very difficult for a pet owner. But she didn't help him find somewhere to live. She didn't help him. She claimed she helped him get a job, but he has to get that job on his own merit and keep that job on his own merit. I don't think that. Everybody kept saying he worked at Chick-fil-A. Unless her daddy owned the Chick-fil-A, I don't think that she helped him get on at Chick-fil-A as a big, like, it was that big of a deal for her. But Lindsay really needs to, actually, rephrase that. Lindsay and Mark needs to go find them both some therapists. And Mark got to work through his trauma of being bullied all his life, because he's just going to keep jumping from one bad relationship to the next bad relationship. And I still don't understand how he sat next to her on that couch more than once after she spit on him. Like, I just...
She wouldn't have wanted to sit next to me. Man.
I can only think of one really big confrontational moment in my life, and Tommy won't let me live it down.
No.
But I think I would have definitely had that confrontational moment over again if you spit on me. Like, I would have saw red, and I might have tried to kill you that day.
It'd have been on sight every time.
It would have been on sight every single time I saw you. Like,
but you don't have hands. Oh, okay.
It is what it is. I was gonna have hands that day because she tried me, but that's another story for another day. It was just it's too much between them, and they need to figure out their individual things.
Hey, so Tommy, she lying about the hands, Tommy. She lying about the hands.
And hey, after this, remind me to tell y'all that story, man.
Oh man, but you know, you want to go first? Go ahead, you can go first.
Let me quantify. These hands is reserved for somebody messing with my man. That's what my hands is for. Cause I'm like Artika for real. Normally my thing is I'm gonna cut you with these words and I'm gonna make these phone, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to my husband and my kids, I yeah, we'll break them out for that.
Candy, is that you? Is that you, Candy?
The couple things I wanted to say, I think in that moment, you know, because Tommy was talking about Mark being a grown man and being bullied. I think he regressed. Her behavior, man, I think it took him all. I think he was past it. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I got bullied as a kid and I grew up. But in that moment, he went back to little Mark. And I think it shocked him. Like, I ain't never had nobody do this to me. I think that's what messed him up. He was like, I'm grown. Why do I feel this way? She was just that swift with her words, like Dr. Pepper said. When you cut, when you lash out, you lash to the bone. And Mark, I think it shocked Mark, like, God, dog. Like, what am I doing? I think he was like, too, I'm grown. Why does this bother me so bad? Why is she shaking me so bad? I'm really messed up. And I think that's why, you know, he looked like he did on the couch. I probably wouldn't have spit on her if she had spit on me, but we definitely wouldn't have got to that couch with us just having that conversation. In that moment, soon as I saw it go like this, it hit my clothes. No, you didn't spit on me. I'd have said something right there. You know what I mean? We wouldn't have got to the reunion and us just talking about it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I probably wouldn't have spit, but we most definitely would have had a conversation. Something would have went down right then and there. I don't know how he made it to that point. When she apologized to him, did y'all peep this? She did the regular apology. She said, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. She didn't apologize for nothing she said. She didn't apologize for her behavior. She apologized if it hurt his feelings. You know it hurt his feelings.
Dude was in
And that was a forced apology to apologize for hurting his feelings. Like, come on, sis. You just say, I meant every word of it. I don't feel bad. I ain't apologizing.
I blame Steve.
Elijah, I appreciate you, but I ain't apologizing. I ain't doing it.
I blame Steve. Steve should have left it alone. Don't say nothing, and he wouldn't have to.
But Kevin did it too. Kevin said, "You sure?" Mark was like, "I told y'all, I'm good. Don't bring it up. I'm done."
You gotta realize this is what Mark is. Mark is at. Mark has gotten accustomed and used to suppressing things in the back of his mind and suppressing his feelings and emotions. Even from when he was a little kid, from his mom bullying, maybe his grandma did the same thing. His dad was sitting there. Remember, Mark took steroids. I think Mark took... No, I'm trying to be funny. I think Mark took steroids because he got tired of being bullied, and he thought being bigger in his life and being stronger in his life would stop the bullying. So you can look at some of the aspect in his life where you can see where Mark has a lot of issues that he needed to overcome, and I agree with you that she took him back. But again, he gave her that. She got the license to do that from the airplane. When she was messing with Elijah and Mark never stood up and said anything to her, like, I don't like that. You my wife. We need to sit down. I don't behave like that. And when he told her, because he told the rest of the group that he was non-confrontational, so he told her. So she, in her mind, was like, oh, I can get over on dude, right? I can do this because he didn't step. The first time someone does something, you got to let them know, this is not acceptable. This is not how I roll. And guess what? They'll fix their behavior if they want to be with you. He didn't check it in the first place. So guess what happened? She kept doing it. And so he never checked it a second time. She kept doing it. So it became natural to her. She's like, I can do this over and over again. And he just felt back to that little kid. Because anytime he should have knew when her dad said, you like grabbing an alligator by the tails. He should have knew then that I got something. I have to man up a little bit. Because she wouldn't have did that to Elijah if they was dating. She wouldn't have did that to Steve because Steve shuts her down. She wouldn't have did that to any other man on the cast. But again, she lucked up or married at first sight, put it to a guy that they knew was gonna crawl. He didn't man up. And so I think he was abused by her. I think he was a little soft for not standing up. For himself and telling her, look, this is how you're going to talk to me. This is how you're going to treat me. This is how we're going to behave. If you can't, you got the roll. Because I think it's vice versa. It goes both ways. As in relationship, I think a man should state, this is how I need you to treat me. And a woman should say, this is how I need you to treat me. And don't cross those boundaries. And then we can work these things together. Because again, spitting at me, cussing and fussing at me, all that. And her biggest thing was her birthday. It was my birthday. Well, guess what? If you act up on your birthday, my mom always told me where you act out is where you're going to get worked out. So if I acted out in this grocery store, mama going to work me out in the grocery store. If I acted out in church, you're going to work me out in church. So guess what? Whether it's your birthday or not.
Mark did not care.
Mark did not care. At this point, I'm fed up. I'm tired. And guess what? You have to go. Now, whatever go means, he put me out. What was he supposed to do? You spit on him. If he'd have put his hands around your neck, it would have been another problem.
Another story.
Another situation. If he would have grabbed you around the collar, so again, he did the thing that, you know what, I'm not going to jail. I'm going to put you out. Guess what? Hey, let the door hit you with a good little split you and go. Here's your bags. Here's your stuff. Whatever case may be. Some say she lived there another 6 or 7 weeks, whatever. Look, I got another apartment. I hope he got rent money. If you're gonna live, and after I put you out and you're gonna live in my family's property, I need some rent. We need something. But again, she took him for as a sucker, and he allowed her to be a sucker. He allowed her to be the sucker at some point because again, look at Mark's. If you look at all his relationship with women, he always want to help. He always want to take care of. He always want to be there for them. He always nurture them. But who nurtures him? Who take care of him?
No, I think it's the reverse. Like that's how she could stay in it like she did because she took care of him. But like Michael put it in perspective. He said, for all the positive that Lindsay did, the negative outweighed the positive. When it went left real bad. And so they couldn't recuperate there. But you just made me forget what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something else. about that, but
and then again, the sex thing too. Somebody asked the question, y'all had sex so quick. I think they had sex too quick. I think he regretted having sex with her. After he realized what kind of attitude he had, that's why he didn't want to have sex with her again. One, he didn't want to have sex with her because of attitude. Two, he knew he couldn't keep up because her sex thing is way out there in left field. But anyway, Mark and Lindsay, they're a mess. I wish him well. I hope he never has to see her again though, because he might be traumatized for life.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
But just like maybe just saying a few minutes ago, it's just like Lindsay, start a fire and leave. She started a fire, wrecked people's life, and went to the West Coast. How many other people have she messed their lives up and rolled out with?
Mm-hmm.
Probably why her mama left. Anybody else?
I didn't think about that at all.
Think about it. She said one side of the story, it was her mama's fault. It might have been Lindsay's fault. Mama said, you know what? I can't even put up with you. I can't put up with you. Can't put up with your daddy. Can't put up with your brother. I'm gone.
Or they could be two of the same, cut from the same cloth. Now that's what I think it was.
That's exactly what it is. If you think about your mother-daughter relationship, the daughters, have a lot of the same characteristics as the mother, and we work on them. I say we because I'm talking about me. Like I got hands and I got a sharp tongue, so I get that from my mama. And we butt heads very often, more often than not, because we're so much alike. Where I'm working on mine, my mother's like, "F y'all, this is who I am," right? So, and it takes my family. My family is always like, "You're Valerie 2.0." That's my mother's name. And so one time I got mad. I was like, "What you mean I'm Valerie 2.0? To me, it sounded like it was Worth." And he was like, "No. It's a better version. You care about people. You want to make amends." I was like, "Oh, okay." He was about to get these words. Like, but yeah, I agree with you, Jackie. Like they probably two of the same people, and going butting heads like that it's toxic as hell.
Thing. That was the thing I was going to say too, just as a side note too, that Pastor Cal was on it too. Because I thought about how last episode, how Lindsay was just really like, "I've washed my hands of Mark." And they showed the clips this time of how she was all in his face and all lovey-dovey and "I love you." And she went from that extreme to basically like, "I hate him. I don't ever want him in my life." And Pastor Cal was like, that just goes to show how y'all have both totally lost all respect for each other. Respect is out the window. And even if you can't be respectful, it should still be some empathy there. Lindsay ain't even got that. She was like, "I feel like he faking. He ain't genuine. Them tears not real." I'm like, girl, you can't see that man feelings is hurt. She was like, no. So it's bad when, the respect is gone. Because, she really was like, I don't even know that man.
But, you can see from the rest of the cast members, don't nobody respect her.
Mm-mm.
Katina was sitting over there like, good God, this is awkward. I would have told Elijah one if I was Katina, like, "Look, dog, you ain't got nothing to do with this. Sit back. But you ain't got nothing to do with this. What, you her counselor or something?" But hey, it's what it is, man. It's rough. I wish Mark the best. But just to see that man sitting there with tears in his eyes, every time he was around her, he don't like her. But he just can't say nothing. He just can't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, wow. Let's see what else. Was there anything else?
It wasn't even nothing really with Noy and Steve.
And nothing else about Elijah and Katina.
No.
I do want to say about Elijah and Katina. And it has more to do with Kevin than with them. Him constantly saying, like, this was the good couple that I was like, what are you talking about? Like, we were excited and happy about that. Shit got on my nerves. I was like, if you don't quit saying that dumb shit, because everybody knows that this was garbage and hot garbage is that. At that, I don't know what you saw, Kevin. Now, I'm glad they made a turn. I'm glad that she's patient. I'm glad that he's working on who he is or whatever. But Kevin, quit trying to make it like they were always this like great couple. That irritated me more than anything else, I think, was the fact that he was like, "We're not delusional with you, sir. That ain't it."
Kevin himself was irritating to me and has been for a while. A lot of people are like, "Oh, I really love Kevin as the host," and I'm like, "Yeah, he could go, and I would be okay." I'm actually, and this is going into the future, I'm actually kind of excited that we're adding in new experts next season because I feel like we know we're going to get from this person, we know we're going to get from that person, and we know that Kevin is going to pick a side every reunion, and whoever side he picks, he's going to go very light and easy on them. Like, I I think that one of the better things that was done was with Unfiltered was turning it into After Party, because Keisha asked questions that we wanted to know the answer to. Because she was looking at this the exact same way as us, like, what is wrong with you? Are you okay? Did your mama not tell you better than that when you were little? Because we really want to know the answers to these questions. And I do think that Kevin needs to be released from this role or add someone in with Kevin. Like, let's add a new layer to this reunion situation, because I don't feel like he's asking the questions that I, as a viewer, would want to know the answer to.
I wonder if he has like a set of like cards that he has to follow. Like, like these are the things that we want you to ask. So ask only this. I wonder, whereas Keisha, it looked like she might have had some cards, but she was going off the cuff. Like, I didn't watch all of them, but the ones that I did watch, I was like, okay, I see you, sis. Like,
Keisha watched the episode, looked at her card, and was like, let me take this a step further. Because what you said was stupid. And I want you to clarify what you said. Oh, you can't clarify what you said? I want you to sit in it and think about it. Because what you said was dumb. And she did that consistently through however many episodes of After Party they had. But I just don't really know. Kevin just has never done it for me on the reunion. And I want him to do that.
Yeah, I think they should add Keisha to him. I think I said a couple weeks ago, add Keisha to Kevin, or add a female perspective from there, and let them roll that way. I think with the new experts coming in, I don't want to see Dr. Viviana leave, because I think she had enough. She made it real for some things. If she called you on your BS, I don't know much about Devon Franklin. I mean, I know he was married to Megan Good. Don't know how he's gonna do. A lot of people. Yeah, he's really coming. Some people are mad at him for the fact that he's divorced. I don't know how, but Dr. Pepper her and her husband don't live together, so I don't know, how that's gonna work out. And I can't remember the other young lady's name. Y'all help me out with is another young lady coming, but they are African American minorities that are coming to add a new perspective to the experts, which I think is a nice twist, because I agree with you, Artika. It has gotten stale with those Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal, and so we'll get to see different mixes and how they take shape.
But only Dr. Viv is leaving.
Yeah, only Dr. Viv is leaving.
So they're losing one, but they're gaining at least two more.
Back to 4 experts.
Yeah.
So I'm
interested to see. I can see how people would have an issue with Devon Franklin coming on there, because, like, who are you to give relationship advice? I can get it. I get it.
I mean, I can get it. I can see it. I mean, maybe the contract was done before and signed before he got divorced, and they want to knock out the contract. I don't know. Like I said, I don't really know. I know just the fact, like I said, he was married to Megan Good. That's all I know. And they waited until they got married, right? It was virgins until they got married. So.
No. There wasn't no virgins.
The only thing I can think is beneficial for him now is that he can talk about the side of something not working if he's being honest about it. If he's being honest and transparent about why his relationship didn't work and it's helping them to apply it, I could see where it's beneficial. But if he's just going to be there and be just talking like he was before they got married about, waiting until they got married and all the all of that with their book and all that, then he's not going to be beneficial. We need somebody that's going to be real and honest and transparent and be like, this is what happened. This is what happens, and this is the route you're going. Like, I don't want nobody fake. I don't want nobody just like, I don't want that. And losing Dr. Viviana, I liked her. Like, she was my favorite. I liked her. And so so I'm hoping that one of these new people bring the heat. Like, yeah.
I don't expect Devon to bring the heat because I felt like most of his relationship with Megan was overly romanticizing every part of. We had to romanticize the wait. Then we had to romanticize getting married and how everything is difficult for us, like being in the spotlight and we're going through this with God's help. Like, I mean, I get all that, but it just felt like it was just too much and he was laying it on way too thick with every like interview that he did that discussed him and her at all. But I am interested to see. I'm wondering why are there two black pastors, and then we took out yeah, and then we took out the sex therapist because it just I don't know what Dr. P is. I have no idea who she is or what she about. If she's, I'm hoping she's a woman since I'm saying she.
Yeah, she's a woman. She's the sex therapist. So
Okay.
she is a sex therapist. So there's a sex therapist coming on, and she is the sex therapist. I had to look it up, but she's a sex therapist. So they losing the sex therapist and gaining another one. So we'll see how that pans out, how that works out for them. Do you guys want to see? I guess it is already 5 couples, so we can't even go back to that. I like to see less couples, but I think less couples and more therapy, because when less couples and more interacting with one another with the therapist, that's what I like to see. So, that being said, what's y'all closing thoughts on this season? Wrap this season up in about a minute or two, and what do you look forward to? We'll start with
I was turning it off. What were you saying, Talisa or Tommy?
Nah, we say Talisa. You wrap it up in a minute. What did you like about this season? What you didn't like, and I know you're glad it's over, but
I don't like when you ask what I liked about something. I don't like that because I don't know if I really liked a whole lot about this season, right? Y'all know I want to quit. I want to be like, I'm not doing Married at First Sight anymore. So for me, this to be like, oh, what did you like? I don't know, but I'm not gonna quit because they're coming to California. That's another thing. So I think that they can cut this down and be like a regular show and be 10 episodes. You asked what I like. I like that Elijah is having his come to Jesus moment. I like that Steve is a good communicator. Maybe he could be a mentor to some of the people. I like that. I don't like how long it is. Like I said, they could cut it down to like 10 episodes. Like I don't like how we don't see enough like group therapy, and that all we see is the same issues over and over and over again. We know that our relationships have more than 1 and 2 issues in it, right? Don't just pick one thing and hone in on that. Let me see when they're having a good time. Like not when you say, but when they are on their own. Those cameras that y'all have in the house, let me see some more of that raw footage because we know that those cameras are in there. That would be nice. I'm glad to see that new blood is coming in. I want to see what they do. I'm going to have lots of opinions about that. So I didn't even realize they had 2 new people coming in. So that makes me want to review. But of course, I won't be doing it until after the honeymoon. So, I mean, when the honeymoon starts. I'm not starting until that's when the show starts, when the honeymoon starts. So I'll give my opinions of the couples when the honeymoon starts. Like, I will watch because I need to know what's happening, but in my own time, walking around and just listening. But I don't have nothing else. Like, I don't.
It is.
My bad. I was reading the comment, man. the MAFS in Brooklyn. What I liked about this season, like me, I like the concept of the show. I think that's just really dope. It's different. That's what the most part I like about it. Yeah, man, that's about it. The I didn't like that the fact that everybody said yes on decision day, as to say let's try it later. Like, no, let's 8 weeks. That's the experiment. Do you feel like this is the person for you? If the answer is no, say no and then work on it if that's what you want to do. but don't everybody say yes, like, because that's unrealistic, especially with this what season 14, and most of the seasons you have less yeses than mostly everybody's saying no. So like, I don't know, especially if nothing different happened. You know what I'm saying? If you did the exact same thing that you've done for the rest of these seasons and everybody says yes, that bothered me. Period. I'm glad to see new people coming. Um, yeah, yeah. What you got?
I'm happy that it is over. Um, this season for me was a little bit more draining than normal because I feel like we spent the entire beginning of the season like, oh my God, well, y'all just put me out of my misery and get rid of Alyssa. And then in the middle of the season, it was like, won't you make Elijah and Lindsay shut up? And then the ending of the season, it's like, all right, y'all, let's wrap this up because I'm ready for it to be done. Um, I do think that we need more couples who are coming on the show not to become social media influencers. I think we're getting too much of that now. Um, and not to say that you can't, after this show is done, get you a YouTube channel, because I mean, enough YouTube money out here for everybody. I'm not trying to stop anybody's dollar. But I feel like a lot of these people are coming on here and then they're saying yes because, oh, we can do couples cam and we can make some money. And it's like, no, that is not the point of this show. Like, the point is for you to find your person and build or forever with your person. And there's a lot of things about this that y'all just need to reel back in. Um, I don't really know, like, outside of it being over, what I like. I'm hoping that this next season um utilizes the experts a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because I think someone mentioned it in the comments of this live earlier that the experts come in as if they only see the exact same footage that we see. And I'm like, I know y'all gotta see more than this. You got cameras all over the apartments. Y'all are following them around when they go on these dates, all this other stuff. Like, it's just, give me something more. Like, and let's not try to make mountains out of molehills, because sometimes people don't have real issues like the ones that are glaring on this show, and we try to make issues, because that was one of the things that they did with Ryan and Clara. They were like, they weren't having sex, they're not having sex, they're not having sex, and they're like, yep, we were having sex.
They did tantric yoga.
Didn't work for them either because they're also not together. And also stop incentivizing decision day, because it's got to be incentivized, because at this point, like, I hated you for 7 weeks. We had one good weekend. I'm gonna say yes. Does that sound realistic?
Not at all.
It's just, it doesn't make sense, because that was literally Jasmina and Michael's story. We did not talk to each other for 4 of the 8 weeks. The other 4 weeks were on and off talking to each other. So we had 6 weeks of not talking, 2 weeks of talking. And I'm going to say yes. Just doesn't make sense. Like, let's make this real. I wish they would go somewhere where people are not going to be performative.
Yeah.
That's part of one of the issues.
I think the experts should, like, when the guys get together or when the girls get together, the experts should be there to kind of like talk with them. Like, guys go out, meet each other at a bar, Pastor Kyle be there at the bar too, and they all just sit around and talk. Because honestly, as a married man, and what, we'll be 6 years in August, talking to a newlywed, talking to somebody that's been married 20 years, 30 years, and everywhere in between that, it's always beneficial. Just because I have something I can take back to my family and maybe use to better our relationship. Because every time you see a relationship, it's always going to grow. So I think having that expert there with the guys, or having that expert there with the ladies, being able to have that conversation, not as the expert, but as a married person, because they're all going through an experience that some people may have never seen a marriage. You know what I'm saying? And that could be beneficial and helpful for the show and for them actually being able to come together with their spouse and work out something.
Oh,
My bad.
no problem. Two more things. Like Talisa, I'm invested not in this next season, but the season after that, because they're coming to my home state. So I'm at least stuck for 2 more seasons. Like, I'm gonna give San Diego a shot, and I'm gonna give Nashville a shot just because I'm from the state of Tennessee.
Yeah.
Even though my city is very different from the rest of the state. Also, second, I do like the approach, like you were saying, of more couples, or not more couples, but more interaction between them. And I want them to sit down and actually have conversations about what's going on with your relationship. Because they all claim to be friends. When it's all said and done, we're friends, we're family, we love spending time together. But just like this season, Noy wouldn't tell them that she had issues with Steve. Like, for 7.5 of the 8, basically until he bought her that ring, she had issues.
Mm-hmm.
I should say got her that ring.
You went over your 2 minutes.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna cut it short after this. Yes, no 2-hour seasons. It's too long. Ain't nobody got time for that. I got kids, and I'm done.
Tommy like that deacon in church when you had a funeral. They got 2 minutes, and that person at the funeral stand up there and talk for like 12.
And he the one that get up in front of the church and be long-winded.
You want.
Oh man, real quick, another funny part, K Woo said it, I forgot to mention on it. Elijah one not knowing Katina's name, which again goes to his Playboy. He didn't know his girl, and he didn't know who she was. All he knew was she was pretty, and he liked it. And he played for a while because she's like, oh, that's why you was calling me wife.
But he was like, he wasn't even close to her name.
Yeah.
Her name's Jeanette. It's Jeanette. Good gosh. Are you kidding me?
Not the same letter.
Not even the same letter.
One more point I want to make. We like what they need to have less of. They need to have less of the financial problems, because I think they need to bring a financial therapist on. Every year somebody has a financial issue or financial thing, they should be able to have a therapist. So you got a therapist for sex, bring a therapist on for finances, so you can eliminate some of these financial issues that these couples have, because you test for everything else. But you got people who can't manage money getting into relationships, right? When you can't manage money in a relationship, you're going to kill the relationship. Money issues, and then you need to make sure we take care of everything else. My man Q in the house. What's up, Q? And you got to make sure that everybody else is out there too as well. So you got to make sure all their stuff is taken care of when they get in relationships. And I definitely have to make sure. I got my 2 minutes. I got about 30 seconds left.
I'm saying I got 2 things.
All right. And you also have to make sure, again, I agree with Talisa and everybody else, cut these episodes. We get 2 hours for 17 episodes. Well, right now, you count the specials and you count all the other stuff, you getting about 20 some hours, 40, 50 hours of Married at First Sight. And then they're not even taking a break. They're getting ready to roll into the next season with all these different specials. Like, where's the breather at? But I agree with y'all. They need to do something different. The experts a little fresh thing. California's different. Take it to smaller cities. Take it to a smaller city. Maybe Nashville will work out, right? San Diego's a little bit, different. They have different folks in San Diego, but take them to smaller cities and smaller groups and see how things work out. And I'm done in my 2 minutes.
The only 2 things that I want to see is, like Artika said, and I see the people in the comments too. Let's try to weed out the people that are on here for their 15 minutes of fame. It's got to be some kind of way that you can weed that out. And then also, maybe that needs to be a question to what Tommy was saying. That's in your questionnaire, or when you're evaluating these people, let's find out who has a realistic view of what marriage is. Or do you have a romanticized view of what marriage is? Like, do you really understand what you're getting yourself into when you say you want to be married, especially being married at first sight? You know, because it's one thing when you know the person, you've been dating the person that you're going in with, and you know, you have a view there, but it takes a different kind of, a real different kind of view of marriage to be married at first sight. And so I want to know, have you seen a successful, a prospering marriage? What do you know about marriage? You know, I think that would be good. If we could do it less than 2 hours and make it really be pertinent, I like to see more experts, like Artika saying. I want to feel like the experts are not watching the show with us. I want to feel like y'all are actually privy to what's going on, which you should be. But other than that, yeah, and the last thing, I mean, I'm gonna agree with Artika too. Yeah, one other thing, I want to see the recommitment in the middle. I want to see that come back. I think that's going to save us for the bull crap at the reunion. I mean, at decision day, for people saying yes when they really should say no. I want a recommitment in the middle. And then on decision day, I wanted to be like, okay, it's decision day. And this is your opportunity to really be honest and say yes or no. Don't give us what you think we want to hear or the people want to hear, or I think I can, maybe we can get, no. We want a real decision day. So those are the things that I would like to see.
You good?
I'm good.
You good?
Am I under my 2 minutes?
You're under your 2 minutes.
All right.
Yeah, you've been trained. No, I'm kidding. Nah, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. You were fine. You're definitely fine. I'm just reading the chats, enjoying the chats. Hey guys, we thank you guys for sticking with us each and every week. Some of you guys have been on watched all our panel discussions. We just want to tell you thank you very much for joining us, for being with us, sticking this season out of Married at First Sight. We started the season in January? I think when did they start? We started the season in January, and here it is, May, getting ready to go into June. And we've been here talking about Married at First Sight, but we didn't start the panel until after the wedding. So don't look for this panel again until after the weddings. If my panelists are willing to come back, we might add in another one or two if they're willing to come back to the panel, so we can continue to discuss Married at First Sight. But we thank you guys for being in the chat. Thank you. Make sure you go to August Love Story, like their stuff. Make sure you go to Lisa Ray, subscribe and like. Make sure you go to TalisaRay.com and get your journal, to get your stuff. All right, please do so. I've seen people on Instagram posting their pictures, posting their stuff. Jackie's looking at hers, reading hers. Journal. Make sure you get your journal, get your stuff. Again, TalisaRay.com. Make sure you get it. Man, thank y'all for joining us. Thank y'all for being in the chat. The chat was lit today. I enjoy reading the chats. It is a pleasure to talk to you guys, and I hope you guys will join us again here in a couple of weeks when we come back on and talk about Married at First Sight, San Diego. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great one. Enjoy.
Happy Memorial Day.
Enjoy your Memorial Day. Cook a rib for me. Cook something, and
remember a soldier.
Yeah, remember somebody else. Somebody who fought for this country. So, good night, y'all. Have a great one.
Bye.